I asked you what the most well-known brand of electronics in the world is, I'm sure you would respond Samsung. And similarly, if I asked you what the world's tallest building is, you would know it was the Burj Khalifa in Dubai. But did you know that the infamously lofty structure was in fact built by Samsung's construction division? Since 1938, the Korean-founded company has been wowing the world with their crazy feats of electronics engineering. From mobile phones to TVs, fridge freezers, washing machines, and everything else in between, how much do you really know about them? In this video, we're going to show you 10 crazy things that you need to know about Samsung. We're OnlyBrands, the channel dedicated to bringing you awesome, regular content on the world's hottest brands. Let's do this. Number 1. What does the name Samsung mean? Samsung is a legendary household name, but what does it actually mean? Sam and Sung are two Korean words that are combined to form the word Samsung. In Korean, Sam means 3 and Sung means stars. In essence, Samsung therefore translates to 3 stars. 3 is a symbol for something large, numerous, and strong, whereas stars are the synonym for everlasting or eternal, like the stars themselves. The name was chosen by Lee Byung-chul, the founder of Samsung, to reflect his idea of an organization that will remain as long as the celestial bodies are in the sky. Number 2. 7 different logos. Do you believe Samsung is still using its original logo? The answer is no. Samsung is in fact currently using their 7th iteration of its logo. The company initial logo was quite messy and had very little in common with the current version. It featured a circle that contained 3 plants, 3 stripes, and 3 stars, and looked more like a military insignia than a corporate logo. The next iteration didn't come until 1969, with the stars receiving a more polished and distinctive shape and featured the company name written in black letters right next to it. The logo known today was introduced in 2005 and favors a much more simplistic approach. This current logo represents the company's commitment to its stated goals and ideas of simplicity, as well as the stability of its progress. Number 3. Not just electronics. In 1938, Lee Byung-chul established Samsung as a trading business. Over the next 3 decades, the company expanded into a variety of industries, including food production, textiles, insurance, securities, and retail. They didn't actually expand into the electronics sector until the late 1960s. Although it might come as a surprise, Samsung is also a master at building ships, with Samsung Heavy Industries being the 4th largest shipbuilder in the world and operating a 4 million square foot shipyard. As we alluded to at the start of the video, the world's tallest tower, the Burj Khalifa in Dubai, was built by Samsung Engineering in partnership with BESIX from Belgium and Arab Tech from the UAE. Other significant divisions of the company include Samsung Life Insurance, the biggest insurance provider in South Korea, and Chil Worldwide, which is South Korea's largest advertising agency and the world's 19th largest by revenue. Samsung also owns the oldest theme park in the country, Samsung Everland, which features a whole host of exciting rides as well as a full-sized zoo and beautiful arboretum. Oh, by the way, a lot of hard work and care goes into these videos, so if you could help us out and click that subscribe button, we would greatly appreciate it. Number 4. Absolute patent machine. According to the total number of patents awarded to companies in 2021, Samsung came in an impressive 2nd place with 6,366 being granted. This statistic provides valuable insight into how many concepts the products and company is working on simultaneously. In a recent study formally commissioned by the German BMWI, Federal Ministry for Economic Affairs and Energy, Samsung Electronics also came out on top in terms of the number of 5G patents, both filed and awarded in Europe and the US. Number 5. Always on the forefront of technology. Samsung has always been right on the bleeding edge of technology all throughout their extensive history. In addition to digital televisions, they developed the MP3 phone and watch phone in 1999, the 3D home theater in 2010, and the first curved smartphone display in 2013. Samsung was also the very first manufacturer to release a phone with CDMA technology in the 1990s, which was the tech that defines the protocols used in 2G and 3G. Another notable entry in the company's list of achievements is the production of the very first digital watch phone. Released in 1989, the Samsung SPH WP10 was a one-of-a-kind device that could not only tell time, but also make phone calls for up to 90 minutes at a time. Number 6, nearly entirely in-house production. Many electronic companies rely on other brands and companies for accessories, parts, and other supporting products. Samsung is very unique in this regard and has always strived to keep as much of their equipment production as in-house as possible. As a result, the company currently produces almost 90% of its products completely in-house. In fact, they've put so much effort into achieving this that they've also inadvertently become one of the world's leading suppliers in providing parts for other manufacturing companies, including smartphone competitors like Apple. Number 7, Samsung carries South Korea. It's no secret that South Korea and Samsung have an incredibly strong relationship. The electronics giant was founded in the country by its Korean-born CEO and has its headquarters based in the capital, Seoul. What's amazing is that Samsung contributes over 20% of South Korea's gross domestic product each year, with the company making nearly $200 billion in 2021 alone. As a result, Samsung is the leading company in terms of revenue in South Korea and is by far one of the country's most valuable assets. That was an especially juicy fact, right? I think that one definitely deserves a thumbs up. Number 8, Samsung turned down Android. Even though the Android operating system runs on basically all Samsung devices, Samsung doesn't actually own Android. Google does. In 2004, the developers of Android were seeking funding to further their business and managed to arrange a meeting with a group of 20 Samsung executives at their offices in Seoul. The Android guys presented their ideas for a mobile operating system to the team. However, Samsung turned them down, reportedly due to concerns over the extremely small size of Android's development team. Just 2 weeks later though, Android tried again, but this time with the internet Goliaths Google, who agreed to fund them with a hearty lump sum of $50 million. The rest is history, with the two companies working closely together to develop the now globally renowned operating system, which later had its official release in October of 2008. Looking back in hindsight, it does seem strange that Android passed up on an opportunity to have their own mobile operating system, as it would have been more in line with the mantra of keeping as much production in-house as possible. Perhaps in an alternate timeline, Samsung, rather than Google, would be the market leader in mobile OSs. Number 9, biggest smartphone recall in history. Launched in August of 2016, Samsung's Note 7 device was marketed as a large screen top-end device and positioned as a rival to Apple's iPhone. But in the following September, Samsung had to recall about 2.5 million phones after widespread complaints of overheating and exploding batteries. Although just 24 out of every 1 million Galaxy Note 7s were thought to be at risk, Samsung were obligated to recall every single unit produced for obvious safety reasons, despite the fact that the risk was relatively minimal and that the issue was eventually resolved. The recall is thought to have cost $5.3 billion and was hugely damaging to the South Korean firm's reputation. I definitely wouldn't have wanted to be the designer or engineer responsible for that. Number 10, Samsung holds over 1/4 of the smartphone market. Currently, Samsung is the most popular and best-selling phone brand in the world, accounting for 27.55% of total global sales. Apple comes in second place and Xiaomi a close third. The market has seen quite a shakeup in recent years, mostly due to COVID-19, but also because of LG's exit and Huawei's rapid decline. Samsung was actually the only mobile phone manufacturer to grow in 2021, with all others falling in line with the market. Thanks for sticking around. We hope you enjoyed the video, but why stop now? Click these videos here for more awesome content.